Good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show right here on WBOK, 1230 a.m. The talk line is 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422. Quite a conversation about the good and then the bad, and the ugly of Mardi Gras season with that black woman hanging in effigy. Not cool. Crew of Tucks, that was. Crew of Tucks. So, look, we're going to jump into something with a little bit more of a bright spot because with some tips in mind and taking the right precautions, you can have a good and fun Mardi Gras season, a good Lundi Gras, a good Mardi Gras on tomorrow. And we got Quentin Brown here from the New Orleans Fire Department to talk with us about that. I'm Will Sutton with Eddie Francis. It's 8:05 a.m. Got somewhere to be at 8:15. You got 10 minutes to get there. Be safe, whatever you do. All right, so we've got the season started on January 6th. Yes. The serious part of Mardi Gras season started just a couple weeks ago. We got a couple more days to go, today and tomorrow, but you all still want people to be safe, and there's still people that need to learn a lesson or two. So you're here to help them out with what's required and all, because I don't know if you've seen it, but there's still a lot of social media angst about, well, I saw so-and-so doing this and doing that, and they're not supposed to be doing that. Right. So some people realize there are things that aren't supposed to be done, but maybe not cooperate. So give us a good overview for the time that we have left for today and tomorrow.
Well,
welcome to the Good Morning.
Thank you. Good to be here. For the fire department, we do a lot of things that are kind of behind the scenes. And just to kind of give ourselves a plug, we have the NOLA Fire Department site on Instagram and Facebook. And it kind of gives you a general idea of exactly what the fire department does when they're not being seen on the street. Of course, for years we had fire trucks in the parades, but it was determined that it would be more effective if we pulled them out, because initially what they thought that with past administrations was that a fire truck on the on the parade route would help, but after some thought about it, it would be better just to have them in place on the outside, on the outskirts of the response area, so to speak, as opposed to actually in the parade, where if something happened, they wouldn't be able to separate the
I always wondered about that. Okay,
So it probably was more of a public relations thing, and even today we still get a lot of people asking, well, why aren't the fire trucks in the parade anymore? Because that was our marker as to determine when the parade was over.
Right.
You know? So
I had that happen this Saturday. People were like,
is it over? Is it over?
Right. But for public safety, everything that we do is geared toward public safety. And it was determined that it would be better if we were on the outside to be able to respond into a situation. Right. So that part. Also, whenever fire department or public safety agencies are responding, we tend to because of the crowds and the traffic, people have a hard time, adjusting to which way do I go, or there's a lot of things that I've experienced in my career or just personally, where people are either listening to music in their cars, or they're not really paying attention to their surroundings, and if you see those flashing lights or you hear a siren, typically they're going to see flashing lights because the music's probably too loud in the car. And pay attention to your surroundings, and pull over to the right and stop and let the emergency vehicles come through, because I've been kind of moving around in the city in the last couple of days, and the traffic is horrendous. I guess we're just having a lot of visitors, which is great, but if you try to move around in these, anywhere around a parade or getting to or coming from a parade, it's rough. It's rough. So we ask people to, just kind of be cognizant of any emergency vehicle responding.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back with, there's so much more that needs to be shared so that we can be safe, and not the least of which is what about those ladders? What about those ladders? Is a step stool okay? Is a house ladder okay? What about the ones with seats for 3 and 4 kids?
Yeah.
All right, so let's get to that right after the break. This is the Good Morning Show on WBOK, 12:30 a.m., what New Orleans is talking about all day long. Good morning, good morning, good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show right here on WBOK, 12:30 a.m. It's 8:12 a.m. You got somewhere to be for 8:15. You got 3 minutes. It's 8:30. It's much better. So 3 minutes. I hope it's really close. Maybe on the side of the bed, or in the next room. You can bounce up and get going. But if you're off for the day and you're heading out for Mardi Gras, please be safe. Watch out for all the other people who are doing the driving thing. But there is some public transportation available, and there's ride share if you have the change to do that. And, of course, there are bikes for those of you all who have bikes. It's a good way to get around as well. I'm Will Sutton. I'm here with Eddie Francis, and we're talking with Quentin Brown of the New Orleans Fire Department. And, Eddie, you were looking up some of the New Orleans Fire Department info.
Yeah, I mean, because right on cue, as Captain Brown talked about the fire department having its social media channels. So if you take a look at New Orleans Fire Department on Facebook, for instance, they have done their Mardi Gras warnings for people, and that is to stay behind the barricades, out of the street, listen to public safety officials. I'll say that one for you just again. I'll say that one just for you, all right? Listen to public safety officials. Don't cross the street between floats. So the other night I was at Muses, and there were some kids who were scaring me. Yeah. Like, I mean, Halim and I almost became everybody's parents. Yeah. It was scary. It was really scary. Don't go after beads or other throws that land near passing floats. Remember, so this is one we probably need to talk about, Cap. Remember, no open flames or grills on the parade route.
Touchy subject, huh?
I mean, I don't do it, but I'm just saying that, I'm walking out St. Charles, and I didn't know that was a thing. Yeah, that you're not supposed to do.
Right. Okay. The past few years, 2 or 3 years, City Council has accepted or implemented these safety measures in order to keep things under control, because a lot of times when people see other people doing things, they think it's okay. So it apparently has become a hazard for us in public safety. Well, speaking specifically for the fire department, grills are, you're cooking. Yeah. And a lot of times those things aren't permitted, not having a permit, and it causes all kinds of problems. A lot of times people don't, even if they're using charcoal, at the end of the night, they don't discard it, properly. There are a number of different issues. You could get a fire along the parade route. They're under tents. We have specific permits that you have to use and that you have to get in order to do outdoor cooking. And sometimes these things get out of hand. You might jump, and people are pushing some of these tents together, and a tent will get lit and it'll keep going, and now we've got a major hazard. You have a lot of people in the area. People get hurt, trampled. It may even run into the actual parade.
So you're not talking about food vendors,
right?
You're talking about individuals,
about families and individuals.
Absolutely, absolutely. Vendors are typically permitted, and they know that they're supposed to line or set up a certain distance from the route. But people in the city tend to want to be close to the parade, and they want to put everything right along the line.
Well, actually, I saw something yesterday that again, it was a gasp moment for me, where someone had a tent. They did not put stakes in the ground with the tent, and yesterday was really windy, so the tent went.
Yep.
And they had to catch the tent and everything. And I'm going, oh man. And I thought to myself, I hope nobody over there has a grill.
Mm-hmm.
And because I was like, oh goodness, if somebody has a grill and this tent is flying all over the place, then
Right.
there could be a problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You know, even though it doesn't happen that often, sometimes we may not even know. Those things may happen and we don't know. But on the side of safety, you know, to prepare for those things beforehand, that's why we ask people to be more cognizant and you know, be about safety. There was a point I wanted to make about something. I can't think of it.
We actually, before break, we were starting to go into ladders.
Yeah, tell us about the ladders.
Ladders.
I mean, there's so many. I'm not opposed to ladders.
Right.
But, and I was on parade routes this weekend, and there were ladders, and they were reasonable. I felt it was reasonable ladders. There was a couple of step stools. There was, I'll call it a household ladder as opposed to a house outside kind of ladder, and a little girl up here and a woman on the other ladder, and you know, they were nice enough to get up and get down so you could see and you kind of move around them. But we're talking about the gargantuan ladder setups where you know they don't sell them like that at Lowe's or Home Depot.
Right.
They kind of make it into something else. So what's okay, what's not okay, and where does the New Orleans Fire Department fit with that versus New Orleans Police and other enforcement agents?
Okay. So just to be clear, the New Orleans Fire Department is not an enforcement agency. However, we do have our Fire Prevention Division who does enforce fire code. So with that, there are a number of things, and we did mention our social media sites, and that explains everything, okay? Because of my advanced age, I can't remember everything and that's a joke, that, you know, is required per policy. Yeah. But you could always refer to our Facebook page, our Instagram page, and so on to get the specific information about that. Typically with ladders, for instance, they have to be at least 5 to 6 feet away from the curb. Okay, so that
that doesn't happen.
No. Who among us, right?
Okay.
But those need to be set back from the curb in case there's an incident where the children or whoever's on the ladder fall into the street, where the parade is passing. Maybe horses, maybe cars passing, maybe floats. So we ask people to you know, just use a little bit of common sense, which isn't really common these days, but we ask people to do these things for their own safety, you know, and the people around them, because as you mentioned, some of those ladders are manipulated together in ways that they shouldn't be. And if you have a large ladder that's been put together, so to speak, and that somebody runs by or, you know, anything happens and that comes down, your kids that are in that ladder will be hurt. So, or people, whoever's on the ladder, or the people around them. So we just ask people to use a little bit of common sense. You know, it's a constant issue that we have to deal with. But as public safety,
so what about the neutral ground side? It's supposed to be 5 or 6 feet back from there.
It's supposed to be back from everything. Yeah, it's supposed to be back.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
They're right up against the float.
Yes, they are.
He knows.
And again, you know, we work with a bunch of different agencies. You know, everything. And I heard someone mention on another interview, say we can't possibly enforce all these things, right? So, and if we did, we'd just be, you know, doing that the whole time that we were out there working. And we meaning public safety, be it police or whomever. But we have to ask people to use common sense, use a little bit of safety initiative, and, you know, take those things that are dangerous into your, you know, to your conscious, and make sure that you're safe for yourself and the people around you.
So, so you had, so you got the ladder issue. We covered grills.
Yeah.
Um, the other thing that I was wondering about, or at least the other thing you mentioned off air before we talked about this, is issues with parking.
Oh, yeah.
So, what kinds of issues should people be aware of as far as parking is concerned, or at least safety issues?
Okay. So, regardless of whether the street's blocked and you're not able to access that street, those streets should still be clear.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Because what we've experienced, especially for the fire service, we have these large trucks.
Yeah.
And like I said, we don't have the truck in the parade, so we're responding from outside in. And along these parade routes for miles, we have people parking and they walk. So we ask people to not park by fire hydrants, not park too close to intersections, because we have to turn those trucks into those intersections. Don't block them, because just because the street's blocked off by police doesn't mean that you still are supposed to block the intersection.
Saw a lot of that yesterday.
We have those problems constantly.
A lot of that yesterday. Yeah.
We have those problems constantly, and just trying to maneuver those trucks through there. If we do have a free space, if you're parked too close to the corner, the fire truck can't make that turn.
Yeah.
So we ask people to follow the instructions in parking and not block hydrants and not block intersections, because there may be a car blocking the intersection and prohibits us to get to somebody's house that's on fire.
Yeah.
So, and it, and we spoke about the traffic. Trying to get around some of this stuff is almost impossible. So typically on our response, on a one alarm response, we have 3 pumps, or what we call fire engines, and a ladder, and a chief. And if we can't get those vehicles in there, somebody's house, goes and burns down, or you may have a number of houses that catch because of it, because of the lack of response, because one person or 2 people did the wrong thing.
Yeah, I mean, because so this came up yesterday actually, where family, and we're hanging out in Maroon, and Captain Brown, his son, and my son went to high school together. Well, as it turns out, my son couldn't move his car because people decided to park in the middle of the street.
Ooh, it's crazy.
They parked in the side street, and a couple of them, I think there was one guy who's like, "Oh no, just let me know and I'll move." I was like, "Dude, how about you just don't park there in the middle of the street?" I mean, and so it was, and we kept asking this question. Well, what if he had a legitimate emergency?
Right.
Like if he had to get out of there.
Right.
And, so he and I are sitting there making these plans. I'm going, well, it's not a cool idea, but here's how you can maneuver on the sidewalk. Right. And I'm going, this is not what we want to do. But if anything if anything happens and you have got to get out of here, and we had to go over all these different plans to get him out of there in case something happened.
Right.
But it was his car. Maybe there was 6 cars that were blocked in because people parked in the middle, literally the middle of the street.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Man,
it's a problem.
All right, so we got Mardi Gras today, Mardi Gras tomorrow. What is your biggest concerns and things that you want people to pay attention to most? Because these are the final 2 days, the big 2 days, and of course tomorrow's just going to be really, really hectic and lots of fun, but their safety is a concern.
Yes. The organization, the fire department, and the city of New Orleans just would like everyone to be very conscious and cognizant of their surroundings. Consider other people. If you don't want it done to you, don't do it to anybody else. That we're talking about the parking. Just be aware of what you're doing and have your safety hat on at all times. Eddie mentioned my son. I remember as he grew up, I always told him to be conscious of your surroundings. You're walking down the street, or if you just go out to your car, just pay attention and see what's going on, and pay attention to what's going on around you. And I know the big tagline for the city is if you see something, say something. And those things are important. Watch everything that goes on around you, and it just may not be anything bad. You know, it may be something that could help somebody else. It could be, you know, in the safety, having that mindset of safety. You know, just pay attention to what's going on. You know, you see somebody parked illegally and something happens, you're like, well, we can't. You just remember, we can't go this way because the car was in the way, because you know, we won't be able to get out. So, just, you know, have a great time. You know, for our visitors, I've noticed we have a lot of visitors in town, as we usually do, and our locals. You know, you guys are familiar with us. You know, the visitors aren't really, but help us out. We appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah.
And when it gets to the end of the parade, don't look for the fire truck.
Don't look for the fire truck.
That's going to take some getting used to.
I know, it's been like,
You know, I mean,
since
it's
a
been
little
like that
kid.
forever.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, this.
Yeah.
Woo.
Actually, it hasn't. I don't think we've had fire trucks on the route now maybe 5 years.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Somewhere
That makes sense.
Yeah,
around
it's still looking for it.
Yeah,
I know.
I
Yeah.
do too. Strangely enough,
Yeah, right.
I bet you do. Yeah.
and I know it. I know they're not going to be there, but
Right,
you know,
right.
it's
Yeah.
weird.
So, all right. Well, thank you so much, Quentin Brown, for joining us from the New Orleans Fire Department, helping us be aware, get some good safety tips, things that we should not do, even some things that are illegal. So take that into account. And of course, you can find the New Orleans Fire Department online and on social media.
Yes, you can. Yep. I'm actually taking a look at them on Instagram right now. NOLA Fire Depth. NOLA Fire Department on Instagram, but you can catch them there. You can also catch them on Facebook. And yeah, I mean, the social media is up and going.
Yep.
All right. Wonderful. It's 8:28 a.m. This is the Good Morning Show. We're going to be taking a break. The talk line is 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422. What are you all doing for Mardi Gras? What are you doing for Mardi Gras? Give us a ring. And what about some of the news of the moment, local, state, national? We'll be getting to some of that after the break, but we sure would like to know what's on your mind. Once again, that talk line is, what is it, Ed?
It is 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422.
All right. WBOK 1230 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.